Alright, this is what we got today. Yesterday in the morning I did legs, and what I'm doing now is rather than doing like a massive amount of volume on legs, reducing that volume dramatically because we got a couple of games coming up. So I don't want to be doing like a ton of volume and then have a training session the next day and then have a match a couple of days later. So really reducing legs. This is a Saturday match on Tuesday and I'm training on Friday and Sunday, so and legs in between those. Now start off with a power movement, dumbbell snatches 4x4, single leg hops, so lower limb stability, step ups 3x8 to 10, RDLs 3x8 to 10, and abs wheels, so you know, working that in a tricep, so step ups, quads and glutes, and then RDLs, hamstrings, abs wheel, obviously core. And then in the PM on Saturday I wanted to do my push day but I didn't get time, so I just did bench press 5x5. Today then, field in the morning, and going in now to, this is my PM session, so this is the session I'm doing now. So after shoulder press, again heavy sets, kind of 5x5, mixing that in with abs wheel. Move down now to bench press, 3x8 to 10, more core in here, 3x10 on the pull-off press. Cable fly, single arm, isolating chest, 3x10 to 12, ladder raises, shoulders, diagonal wood chops, core, using the two of them together. Incline bench press, superset on my push-ups, so I'm doing this guy really slow. I'm doing max push-ups like I did in the last workout. Cable ladder raises and dumbbell press, so supersetting those and drop setting them as well. So finish off with the shoulders and finish off with triceps over here, rolling tricep extensions and overhead extensions. Again 3x10 to 12 or more, and drop sets in both of those. Starting off with shoulder press, so got something like 57.5 kilos on the bar, 5x5. And I'm working this in with abs wheel. So with the abs wheel, one thing we want to make sure we're doing is keeping our hips straight or pushing through with our hips. So this is our start position. So pushing through with the hips, and we go out, back in. What we don't want to do is break at the hips. So you don't want to be doing this. Okay? Even if you're set up here, you don't want to be coming out and breaking at the hips either. Okay, so keep those hips pushed through. The other thing as well is keep your core really, really tight. So you've got to squeeze here. You shouldn't feel pressure in your lower back at any time. If you feel pressure in your lower back, most likely you've gone too far. You don't have the strength of your core to keep yourself tight, and you've got into this position. So in that case then, just don't go out as far. Go out a little bit, keep the core tight and come back in. Even if you got to start literally here and back in, here and back in, just progress as you're able. To progress it on, then you can go an eccentric from the toes and then drop onto the knees and come back in. Eccentric on the toes, drop onto the knees, come back in. Okay, but you'll obviously only go to that when you can do all the way out and all the way back in for a good few reps. Again, this will be more of a kind of muscle building style program, whereas you'd never do that like the week of championship, or you'd never do it particularly on legs. You might get away with doing it on a push and a pull, so upper body, but you would not get away with doing this the week of a championship match, because you're just going to be overworking your nervous system and overworking your muscles as well. So that's why the legs have really kind of reduced down now, because we got games, important games coming. And also working in power movements, so as we get closer to championship or as we get closer to important matches, we're focusing on power more than hypertrophy. So this will be hypertrophy, this will be power. The deal with this is, if you're a beginner and if you do this much volume, you're going to induce a lot of DOMs, so you're going to be really, really sore. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to make more progress. Usually if you do this much and you have a ton of DOMs, you're not going to train for like another week, which is not what you want. When you're starting off, you want to be doing it regular and a small amount of volume. So you want to do maybe half of this or even a third of this, but do it twice a week. So hit those muscle groups twice a week. This kind of a push-pull legs split, I would only recommend it if you were doing at least 5 sessions a week. So 5 sessions per week. If you're doing any less than that, I would recommend a different split, because you want to try and hit every muscle group twice per week, at least. Ice. Yeah. In the shape of swans. So with this guy, what I'm really trying to do is, I'm just lighten the load, is when I get here, I'm trying to open up that chest. So if I stand side on, and then go 45 degrees. So I'm trying to open up that chest, even get a little bit of a stretch if I can. And then when I pull across rather than staying in this position, because the tension kind of disappears here, alright, but I still have a bit more range where I could work that pec. I want to roll my body this way, and that tension is still there. Okay, so this is where I want to finish, but this is where I want to start. If I start here, there's no tension here. And if I finish here, there's no tension here. So I want to start here, and as I'm going through the movement, I want to roll around, and I get a really good squeeze in here at the end. Roll, squeeze. Roll, squeeze. Now the thing with this is really getting clavicle or upper pec, so really getting it up here. If you want to get more lower pec, you can do a bit more of a pull down this way. And since I'm doing a pull straight across, more upper chest or upper pec. So you mightn't have seen this side of the gym before, but we have like this whole other room out here with like a massive rig. It's class. So I'm doing my lateral raises. Just gonna do them here. The 15s are used inside, so use these. So one of the guys has a tendinopathy in his supraspinatus, which is your muscle up here at the top of your scapula. It runs from here down into the top of your shoulder. So usually, on the top of your humerus here, usually you can feel it just below this bone here and just in between that bone and the arm bone. Okay, usually you can feel it there. So he's got an irritation of that, he's got a tendinopathy there. And we don't want to aggravate it by doing lateral raises and closing that gap. Okay, so there's a gap here that if you close that over and over and over again, it can irritate that little tendon. So we want to try and give them as much relief there as we can, so we need to open that out. To open that out, what we do is we externally rotate at the arm here, and that opens out that gap. So if we can do our lateral raises with the arms or the thumbs rolled out here, you can see I can go all the way up here because there's no bone-on-bone contact in my shoulder, whereas if I point my thumbs down, I get bone-on-bone contact there, and that can irritate the tendon. So we want to be able to do our lateral raises like this. But if we just stand upright and do our lateral raises here, we're bringing a lot of front delt. We don't want that, we want to bring in medial delt. So we got to lean forward a little bit, lead with the thumbs, and then we'll start bringing the medial delt here, okay? And that won't irritate this tendon because we've got the thumbs pointed out. And you can see I've got loads and loads of range, so it's there is the bone-on-bone contact, which is what I don't want. But we're not going to be going to there, we're just going to here, okay? Leading with the thumbs, leaning forward if you have that bit of irritation in your shoulder. And I'm supersetting this with my dangle cable wood chops. Let me give you a quick tour of this room, because you probably haven't seen it before. So behind me we've got a big rig, 6-bay rig or 3-bay rig, 3 sections. So you got 6 squat racks, bench presses, whatever you want to do there. Got a big shutter door here. Haven't opened that yet, but we're definitely going to open that when it gets nice and warm in the summertime. Got another squat rack over here, some bumper plates. We've got a Smith machine that we're actually moving out of this room, and we've got a load of our dumbbells here. This is our board where we write out our workouts, stereo, and then this is the main space that you're used to seeing, which is, whoop, skip around here. Got our dumbbells, kettlebells there. Got our board here, right, our workouts, pigeonholes, cable crossover machine. Got a studio room kind of in here where people do their warm-ups and core work. Got our track, loads of green boards over here. Might have seen those before. Green boards. We've got our track, medicine balls, T-Rex. We've got our cages down the bottom, and then there's the other room. So just finished up my incline barbell press superset with my push-ups. I did 4 the first time, this time I did 2 the last day. But with regard to a lot of these things, when you get to like the very final few sets in a workout, usually you're really just going for volume, and tracking a weight, particularly if you're doing drop sets, tracking weight from workout to workout is, challenging. You're not going to be able to say, yeah, I'm stronger here now on like the very last set of 20 something sets in a workout than I was on my last workout. So, you know, when you get to the end stages of your workout and you're really doing a lot of volume work, don't worry too much, I would say, about tracking the weight. Just get in as much volume as you can and push as hard as you can, particularly if you're doing drop sets. So moving on to shoulders, cable, lateral raises, and incline dumbbell press, and then I'm finishing up with triceps, and we're out of here. I'm really trying to emphasize delts, so shoulder muscles. That's why I'm doing the lateral raises first. So when I do my lateral raises and then go straight into my dumbbell press, those shoulders are already fatigued, so it's going to emphasize the shoulders rather than the triceps. So we're obviously bringing in shoulders and triceps and a dumbbell press. And again with these I'm going unilateral, so I'm doing one side and I'm doing a drop set. Nearly done. I'm on to my last superset. Rolling tricep extensions and overhead tricep extensions. Just a quick tip with triceps, if you want to get a good blend of the 3 heads of tricep, do a movement with your elbow by your side, an elbow at 90 degrees to your body and an elbow overhead, and that's going to give you a really good blend of triceps. Just going to finish up with a bit of skills work using the tennis ball, just tennis ball only, kicking and soloing. So I'm trying to keep the ball in between the 2 white lines, so kick it off the wall and get it to land in there basically. And I'm actually coming at it at different angles, so I'm running straight on, I'm coming at 45 degrees and I'm coming at 90 degrees. So running this way, kick, coming in at 45, kick, and then come in at 90 and kick. Alright. So I'm using 2 types of kick as well. I'm using a punt kick, so trying to kick with the hardest part of my foot, and I'm using an inside of the foot kick, so just getting a bit of variety with that as well. So a punt kick, and an inside of the foot. Probably wondering why I'm using a tennis ball and not a football. Basically, I need to work on my hand-eye coordination, or my hand-foot coordination. My hand-foot coordination was atrocious. It's probably still fairly bad. So, like tracking the actual football, so seeing where the football is and then making contact with it was something I identified as a weak point. So by using a smaller ball, you obviously have to pay a lot more attention to it and really focus on where it is to make good contact with the ball and get the ball to go where you want it to go. And then when you translate it over to a football, obviously a football is bigger, so it's a little bit easier. So working on eye-foot coordination. And another one I really like this one I really like to work on eye-foot coordination is actually hop the ball or throw the ball in the air first before you kick it. Because normally when you're dropping a ball to your foot, it's like an automatic thing. You know it kind of takes, we'll say, that half a second before you make contact. Whereas if you throw it up in the air or bounce it off the ground, it's totally different to dropping it to your foot. And as a result, you really have to track that ball and coordinate your leg to hit it at the right time. So, like that. Except keep it nice and straight. I hope you can hear me okay. I'm just home from the gym. It's late and I'm about to have one of my last meals of the day. So this is my big bowl of rice. If you're on Snapchat, you'll have seen this already. So I always cook things in bulk. So a big bowl of rice here, and what I have is coconut milk and a curry powder mixed in with that, so that's why it's all yellow. And we've got chicken breasts, so I put those on in bulk as well. And I'm going to have a big bowl of the rice, a chicken breast, and I'm going to have a bit of this salad as well. Now usually I like to try and sprinkle some of this stuff over it because, and you're not going to be able to see it there, it has polyunsaturated fats. I'm trying to get a good blend of polyunsaturates, monounsaturates and saturated fat, and we've got loads of saturated fat in this coconut based sauce, and this guy is bringing me in with more polyunsaturates, which is great, and there's also some good monounsaturates in here as well. I'm also having some red Doritos, they're like my favorite thing, And what I always do, I don't actually look at the macros that often on foods. What I mainly look at is the ingredients list. So let me focus this. So in terms of the ingredients list here, the main things I need to look out for are the wheat and the soy. So I'm actually not great with wheat and soy. You see the sweet and soy here, but with everything else I'm fairly okay. So I always look out on the ingredients list, and then I have rich tea, but these don't have ingredients on them. So I have a couple of biscuits here and a couple of these. Now I shouldn't really be having them because they interfere a tiny bit with my stomach, but I just really want some tonight. I'm just going to be honest, I really want some. And it would be mainly things like dairy and wheat and eggs that I'd really look out for, and fish actually as well. There'd be like the main ones. Let's be honest here now, everyone enjoys a little bit of processed food here and there. Some people enjoy it a lot, some people are addicted to it, but everyone enjoys a little bit of processed food. So if you want to include processed food into your diet, potatoes, crisps, chocolate, you know, chips, takeaway, pizza, that kind of stuff, try and include it at about 10% of your total calorie intake. So if you're taking in 2,000 calories a day, you've 200 calories every day to play around with. Maybe a bit of chocolate, it might be a packet of potatoes. And that way then it'll kind of keep you sane and also give you a limit to, you know, your snacking basically. And if you're good for a number of days and you want to splurge at the weekend, that's how you do it. So you'll be good for say your week days, and then at the weekend, if you had no processed food, that's when you'd introduce maybe a big pizza on a night out with friends. Oh, it's my rice done there. So that's kind of how I work it with people, and we find it works really, really well. The other thing is, if you're introducing that processed food, it has to go in place of something else. So there's no point in having a 2,000 calorie pizza on top of the already 2,000 calories you've had that day, and then totally negating the effect of your calorie deficit for the week. So processed food, about 10% of your total daily intake. I'm going to go in now and enjoy this meal. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below, and if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, it'd be greatly appreciated, and I'll see you in the next video. Slán.